Hello, everyone, and welcome. I am Laura. This is NATO. We are from Cloud Underground, of course, and today we are here to kind of give you guys an update on everything that's been happening with us at Cloud Underground. There's always lots of stuff going on in the background, behind the scenes. We've been a little quiet on the video stuff lately, so we're back. And we just wanted to announce today we're going to be talking about the Drop Squad model. We have finally completed the Drop Squad model. Yay!
Drop squads.
Drop
It's happening.
Squads!
We started talking about drop squads last year, so some context from me. Drop squad model has been in the works from the DevSecOps dojo since 2020. And so it started as a role play because we teach people real world business concepts by just going out and doing it. So if we're going to teach business, then we'll go out and start a business. And then if we're going to teach how to do certain things with the business, then we'll go do exactly those things with the business. Then what we do is we make case studies from all of it. We tell everyone, how it went and all that stuff.
Yeah, if
Anyone
you've
can
noticed
come ask
from
questions.
if you've noticed from our Notion Point days, even like hands-on learning is like very important to us. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Some things go well, some things don't. And it's business. You just do things.
definitely.
Live life.
Before we get too into it, I want to say too that we are working on an ebook about the Drop Squad model so that anyone can replicate it, including you, for your business. And I also want to give a huge shout out to the rest of the Cloud Underground team, Randy, Jordan, Ken, as well as our Drop Squad Underground Ops core members, Chris, Jermaine, Antoinette, and Joe. Thank you guys all for all of the hard work that you do. We definitely see you and appreciate you, and we could not do this without all of you.
Literally not possible without these people. And that's a lot of people.
Yeah,
so like
this
is not just like
now.
some magic thing that just like fell from the sky like, oh yeah, I just had this idea one day and I woke up and it happened. No, it's taken time and people.
That's right.
And all of their time.
Hours
So.
and energy and yeah.
So thank you everyone.
Cool. So drop squads.
Drop squads.
Drop squads.
Drop squad.
So I guess I can give kind of a high level, like the core idea of the drop squad is to create a 4-person kind of super team that can go on site to deploy services that can work for your business as MSP providers, and we have kind of outlined 4 roles specifically for the drop squad, and how you can use these people essentially to build a great dream team and manage your risk. And
yeah, so Underground Ops is a managed service provider, and the model that Underground Ops follows is a model that is not something that I made up by myself. So I come from working at managed service providers years ago, back into I guess 2008, and then many years into working with different types of managed service providers, and as a result, I helped build different business models with different companies once upon a time. And so as one of the things that we did with the DevSecOps Dojo, with us teaching, the whole idea of the DevSecOps Dojo was to teach how to teach cloud by building cloud. So we built a cloud, and then we also were like, well, we built it, so we have to teach how to release it. So we packaged it and released it, and that was the Underground Nexus. So that's just kind of how we roll, is we teach what we're going to do, and then we show you how we do it, and then we make it happen. And then ultimately everyone lives the experience until eventually now here we are, where we had a role play of launching a managed service provider. So we launched that managed service provider earlier this year. It's called Underground Ops. That's thanks to Christopher, Jermaine, and Ken Underhill, the one and only Ken Underhill. We have to emphasize that he is the chief strategy officer, so this wouldn't work without Ken. So thank you for heading off the launch of this whole Underground Ops thing. And then Randall's a big part of that too. So Randall is one of the founders of Cloud Underground.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just important to remember that. And Jordan is one of the engineers. So anyways, we created a managed service provider as the next journey of showing how to do things. And so what that comes with is we are just going to open source our model.
Mm-hmm.
And with all of the citations and references from where things come from and things like that. That way, others who are trying to learn how to maybe start your first managed service provider, or maybe you don't know how to grow a managed service provider entity, organization of sorts, and you're struggling with figuring out how to scale one of those types of organizations, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what Drop Squads is for. It's for building a managed service provider that is able to grow from day one just by having a good model, a model that can grow with you. It's a thing that some business models, you get to this point where if you grow too much, it becomes really hard to run your company. So
yeah, too much too fast.
too much too fast, and it's complicated. So how you start your company can really make or break your operations. And then for someone who's already running an operation, you already kind of know that there's those challenges that you have to navigate. So our goal is to help people navigate risk with your assets, especially because if you are a managed service provider, then you manage assets. You manage your assets, you manage liabilities, you manage different types of things. It's complicated. So we are going to basically release the model on how to manage the risk associated with all of that for risk management, and also how do you recover when a disaster strikes. And we're open sourcing that model because that's, this is stuff that we believe people should know in this day and age where people need to learn how to, people are, when people are trying to figure out how to make money during a recession, people need to know these skills. So we want to open that up, and one of the things that we're building out with Underground Ops is we're following a little bit of like what Airbnb does, but with cloud real estate and cloud assets rather than just like land real estate. Real estate is a thing. So there's cloud real estate with your cloud assets, things like that. And how does that work? That sort of thing. So we are going to be releasing some things to help. Underground Ops is something that people will have to qualify for. So Christopher Ballard is someone you can talk to about Underground Ops. Is probably the go-to person if anyone's wondering what's Underground Ops, how can I learn more about Underground Ops. Talk to Christopher Ballard. He's been living it, and it's been his life for the entire year, actually, I think at this point almost. So he's a true champion. We appreciate you, Chris. So in terms of how that looks is like what's cloud real estate. If you buy a house, then that's infrastructure. That's building infrastructure, real estate infrastructure. And if you decide that you want to rent out part of that house on, say, Airbnb or something along those lines, then Airbnb provides an app and a model and something that you can follow. So what we're working on is helping create a model where if you have your own infrastructure or infrastructure assets for hosting, then we're working on resources to make it easy for you to go and host whatever business that you're trying to host, but you have to manage your risk because you can't just go randomly just start connecting, trying to host people on some random computer at home that has no. You have to think about your architecture. You have to think about how it's designed. You have to think about the software. You have to think about how it's managed. So you have to think about how do you manage your risk. So I'm going to teach people how you can manage your risk so that you can figure out, how you can figure out how to, either get more customers, or if you're trying to build professional skills looking for a job and you just need to have a way to go and get experience trying to build some skills. That's what Underground Ops is all about.
That's right.
And drop squads, it's the model that Underground Ops runs on.
Yeah, so that's just a kind of a preview of one of the exciting things that we are working on. One of our gifts to you this December. We're trying we're making a push right now to kind of get some things out for people to get you situated in the new year so that you can, you know, build your business and build your cloud assets and just grow and protect everything. You know, DevSecOps is a big part of everything that we do as well. You know, everything built with DevSecOps in mind. So you're securing your assets and managing the risk again. So stay tuned with Cloud Underground. There's going to be a lot of cool and exciting things coming down the pike this month. And yeah.
And we have to say thank you to GitLab, one of the big ones. So it's really thanks to GitLab that now the Underground Nexus is fully ready for managing governance and compliance, and for building configurations as code so that you can lower your business risks for compliance, especially things like CMMC compliance, NIST, if you're trying to deal with authority to operate, or if you're trying to just figure out things like SBOMs, things like that. So anyone who is in the world of trying to meet your regulations and you're not quite sure what path to take, these are some things that we are working on. There will be more details on that. But what I will say is we have a full DevSecOps pipeline available. That's what the Underground Nexus is. It's a full DevSecOps pipeline with GitLab baked into it, and it's a private instance of GitLab that's technically self-hosted, so it requires a self-hosted ultimate license to get access to all of that. And so Underground Ops will manage those services for folks who need that, or otherwise if someone just wanted to get some governance with GitLab. We now have some ways to support large teams. So whether you're a small team or a large team, we have some good things nowadays.
Yeah.
Feels good. So
cool. Well, yeah, like I said, just stay tuned with us. There will be a lot more happening here in December. Anything else you want to add, Nathan?
No.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thanks everyone for joining us. Happy December, happy holidays, and stay tuned.